Well, joining me in the studio is the social and political campaigner, Fajana Thomas. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. It sounds like a brilliant idea, especially when you've got a celebrity raising awareness about the issue. But is it practical? Will it work?
I think it will work. It is a good thing. It is a good development, and I admire Akon for putting his money where his mouth is. This is a gentleman that said he believes when your wealth increases, you increase your level of giving rather than your level of living. And he's doing that, and I believe this will work. In many African countries, one of the major barriers to economic growth is the lack of energy, electricity. So, and I believe if Africans are coming together, it will work in the sense that this is development of solar energy. The solar energy is reliable. The sun is there always for people. It is secure, and there's no way people will want to monopolize it because it's generally available in all the countries. So I believe with setting up an academy, what is missing is what Akon is doing, setting up an academy where you will have experts, where you have engineers to learn how to actually develop various ways of solar energy.
But beyond just starting the academy, I mean, to actually put solar energy in place where people start to derive some utility from it is obviously going to cost a lot of money. Can Africa afford it?
It will cost a lot of money, and I believe Africans can afford it in the sense that they need to make it a priority. With energy, it will increase the manufacturing line, it streamline workflows and productivity, and on the long run, we increase our economic growth. So you see, it is about priority. The money is there. If African countries can come together and work on this, I believe it will work.
But wouldn't it be cheaper for them to use the sources of energy that are already there and that they've already started exploiting, given their limited funds? I'm talking about gas, coal, that sort of thing. I mean, is it realistic for Africa to be looking at solar energy, which is massively expensive in comparison, when they've got gas, coal in abundance and already use it across the continent?
It is, my understanding is this is going to be in addition to what is on the ground. They're not going to abandon production of energy or electricity via coal and other sources. But this will be in addition. Most of African countries, for instance, in Nigeria, there are areas where they don't have electricity for a whole month. So it is in addition to what is on the ground. If they're able to develop solar energy, I believe it will work, and I believe it will help increase or maximize economic growth in those countries.
And as my director said, it's green. Fajana Thomas.
It is green.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed for the moment.
You.
Well, let's see what the social and political campaigner Fajana Thomas makes of this. First of all, astonishing that Ethiopia has moved from the margins of famine to the mainstream of economic development in something of a decade.
It is, and I'm happy for Ethiopia. This is a country that back in 2012 was ranked as the second poorest nation in the world. And 3 years down the line, they are being a place to go, a place to invest in Africa.
So why is Ethiopia hot and Nigeria not?
I think the Nigerian is not hot because Nigerian has suffered in terms of security. Many people, many investors are running away from Nigeria because of the insurgent activities around Nigeria. And this is Ethiopia. Ethiopia, though the economy is based on agriculture, but in the last couple of years, the government, they've put everything into they put everything into diversifying the economy.
But I suppose, sorry, finish what you're saying.
And attracting foreign investors, and this is what we are seeing. And again, unlike Nigeria, in Ethiopia, the government, the state own the land. So the state are able to allocate land for foreign investors where they can build, where they can invest.
And of course, the basis of most industrial takeoffs is always agriculture. You've got to have that agricultural base. pace, which they seem to have achieved. But I also suppose it suggests that investors are not so much concerned about human rights abuse, which of course Ethiopia has been accused of, and that sort of thing, or even a one-party state. I mean, they seem more keen on sort of having visible evidence of political stability and a strong government to protect their investments.
I think that is, again, when it comes to around the world, there is the issue of capitalism. I think investors, they will first look into security of their investment rather than what is happening in the country. And this is what the foreign investors that are going to Ethiopia are doing. It is, they've had the same government for over 2 decades in there. So to them, that is a stable government in their respect.
And of course, they just voted them
that's
back
right,
in again,
regardless of what is happening domestically to citizens.
Of course, if you ask the opposition in Ethiopia, they'd have a different answer to that. But Ethiopia offers another real challenge to Nigeria, doesn't it? Because it's got a very large population and is therefore attractive as a consumer market, unlike places like Ghana, for instance, and a few others like that are doing well, but whose population is so small, just about as small as one city in Nigeria, Lagos. So they can never really pose that bigger challenge to Nigeria.
Exactly. Ethiopia is able to do that because Ethiopia, just like Nigeria, they're the second largest country in Nigeria in terms of...
In Africa.
In Africa in terms of population. So they've got the consumer on the ground, and this is, I'm sure this is part of why investors think going there will yield dividends for them.
So briefly, what's your sense of the economic outlook for Nigeria in the short to medium term, especially in the face of the strong drive by Ethiopia to attract investors away from the giant of Africa? Briefly.
I think Nigeria will bounce back. I think Nigeria will bounce back with the incoming of this new government, with security in place, with provision of infrastructure.
We shall look and see. Susan Fajana Thomas, thank you very much indeed.